What's up, y'all? Erroneous here, back with another Raid Shadow Legends video. We've got new content information dropping from the Chaos Awakes event, so let's get into it. Alright, so here we are, the Chaos Awakes event. More information releasing for today. Confidential notice, disclaimer, the embargo effect period, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, we all know about that. We can't release this information to you guys until a specified time period. Mine's coming out a little bit later than others, but I still want to go over it. Not only for my own information, but for my audience information as well, just in case you don't watch other people. So let's see, what do we have going on here? Event overview. I think I've gone over this in a previous video. At least part of this info deck is just additional info. It's just going to be redundant. So I might not go over all of it. Just want to let you know. You can definitely check out the previous video that I posted about the original event for the Chaos Awakens. So I'm going to go over this second part. It is going to be a bit of a longer video, so stick around, stay tuned. I'm going to be going over a lot of different information like relic systems, maybe show some infographics of champions, and go over new champions as well. So here we go. Summary. Raid Shadow Legends presents upcoming Chaos Awakes campaign that will feature a brand new coalition event with 5 unique legendary champions, the return of the time-limited event dungeon, this time occupied by a mighty mythical champion, which I did go over in a previous video, so go check out that video if you want to look at the new mythical champion boss that we're going to be facing soon. And you can also pull that champion boss, of course, in the future. Also, 8 new limited relics. So event is divided into 2 phases. Duration is from June 5th, 2025 until August 6th, 2025. These are the hashtags that will be posted in our videos as content creators: number raid Chaos Awakes and number Chaos Awakes raid. So let's see, phase 1 coalition event, classic fusion, which is going to be part of this video as well. I'm going to go over the fusion, I hope. Start of the event dungeon and bastion redesign. Okay, nice. And then some music that's going to be changing in the bastion as well. That's pretty cool. We don't really get much in terms of change of music. I wish they did that a little bit more often and allowed you to pick between different types of music that you'd like to listen to, so you're not always listening to the same thing over and over. Maybe they should give some updates there, since the game's been out for well over 6 years now. Phase 2, July 2025, free legendary champion in the champion chase. Is it really free if it's in a champ chase, though? That's the question. Is it really free if it's in a champ chase? Because I assume you're going to have to pull shards for it, which in that case, some people might not have the shards to pull, so that's going to be an interesting one. I assume it's going to take like 10 to 15, maybe probably 20 sacred shards to get them. More than likely. It's a champ chase, so you might not need to pull sacreds. You might actually, since it's a champ chase and not a summon rush, I'm thinking summon rush, you might actually be able to just pull a bunch of ancient shards. So if you do conserve a lot of your shards, then you can pull for a free legendary. Hopefully that legendary is good. So these are just some visual assets here. Somewhere around here, you'll see some visuals of the new champions as I go through and read this. And this guy kind of looks like he's from like the Diablo boss. Huh. Interesting. The new bastion design here behind me does look visually very good. I like this a lot. I actually like this a lot. Super cool. Very nice visuals. General info. I've already talked about this general info. So this is the first phase of Chaos Awakes campaign, feature a new type of activity, the coalition event. As hinted earlier, this event introduces 2 types of progression. If you'd like to hear more about that, watch my previous video on this topic. And I'll make sure to hopefully link it in the description down below for you to click on. Quests and leaderboards, again, in my previous video, definitely check it out. So coalition event timeline. Events start June 5th, 2025. All players starting from level 2 can participate in the event by completing dedicated quests and earning coalition points. Reward period is from July 2nd. During this period, players can no longer complete quests to earn points, but they can still open the event tab and claim the earned rewards. The event ends on July 3rd. The event's no longer accessible in the game. Okay, so make sure you claim those rewards before the event ends. I would assume it would automatically go into your inbox, but don't quote me on that. So be careful. Try to collect those rewards before it ends, regardless. So here are the new champions. Chaos Awake champions. Lemonisa, the gold wing. So she has one wing, kind of like Ninja from the past. He has one blue wing, and looks like a Sylvan Watcher to me. Loyalty program, drop from an ancient, sacred, and primal shard starting July 31st. And so basically after the event ends, essentially, she'll be able to get picked up from ancient, sacreds, and primals. But she's going to be free, so everybody should be able to get her. Fallen Foulbeard is going to be the classic fusion coming up on June 5th. I also created a video on this, so check out that video, what I think about him. Gracchos Turn-Drake. This guy looks super cool. Yeah, this guy looks pretty insane. I would not mind getting my hands on this one. This would be pretty sick. Drop from Ancients, Sacreds, and Primal Shards starting June 5th. So he's going to probably be featured in 10Xs, 15Xs for progressive events. Probably going to be, hopefully they try to present him in a 2X, 10X, or a 2X, 15X progressive. That would be pretty awesome. Or he could potentially be a guaranteed champion. Corrosa the Covetous is the mythical champion in the new event dungeon. She can start dropping from Primal Shards starting August 6th, which is not for 3 months from now. 3 months and 5-6 days. So that's a long time from now, I will say. Balar the Lost drops from Ancient, Sacreds, and Primal Shards starting June 5th. So that's next week. So another guy that could be potentially a 10X, 15X progressive champion. So these two, Balar, Lost, and Gracchos, just based on what it's saying right here below in the infographic, they're more than likely going to be a champion featured in a 10X event. Scrolling down some more, the Fusion. I already went over this guy. He starts next week. There's no additional pictures of what he looks like yet. That's still kind of under wraps. I don't know what he looks like at all. Nobody knows what he looks like that I'm aware of. So hopefully he looks really cool. I mean, just by the outline, he does look pretty sick. Again, if you want to check out his kit, check out my previous video on him. The two new champions. I do want to go over these champion kits side by side here. So Gracchos Turn-Drake, another spirit champion. Super cool looking, HP based. He's probably going to be a NUKER. It's Demon Spawn. The Chafe Reaper. Dang, man. He's not wearing pants, is he? Attacks one enemy, will ignore 25% of the target's defense. Not bad on an A1. Heals all allies with less than 50% HP by 10% of this champ's max HP. Obviously with an HP based support or damage dealer champion. This is an HP base, not a support base, so this is going to be a NUKER most likely. Based on the ignore defense, he's a NUKER. So you're still going to want to build him with as much HP as possible, more than likely over 100k if you can get it, and then his damage does scale up by almost 20% here. It's nice. Attacks all enemies 2 times on the A2. Color of the Week. Each hit ignores 25% defense against targets with less than 50% HP. The first hit has a 75% chance of placing decreased defense debuff for 2 turns. The second hit has a chance of placing block buffs. Wow, okay. Very strong for Hydra, very strong for Chimera, very strong for PvE in general. This guy's going to be very strong. Each hit will ignore 25% resistance against targets with less than 50% HP. So far, this guy's looking really good. It does book down to a 3-turn cooldown. Chance books out to 100%. That's a strong A2. Double hit too. That's the best part about it, is a double hit. Dragonkin Warcry. Places a 60% increased defense buff on all allies for 2 turns. Also places block damage on all allies for 1 turn. It can book down to a 3-turn cooldown, which is pretty nasty. The issue is he doesn't grant an extra turn from this. So it'll still be strong regardless, but that makes me think that maybe you want to build him in like a high damage protection set, which I have one high damage protection set that I have on my Sir Nicholas. So I'd probably put him in that set in a 9-piece based on this. Of course, if I just wanted to go for pure damage, I could do that too, but this guy has a good kit so far. For his passive, Ferocious Ambition. If an ally has 50% HP or more than 50% HP, and is under any buffs placed by this champion, that ally deals 10% more damage. If an ally has less than 50% HP and is attacked by an enemy under any debuffs placed by this champion, then ally receives 10% less damage. If there are multiple channel cut, yeah, everybody knows that. Only one will activate. Aura, increase HP in all battles by 28%. Not a bad champion. He's actually pretty strong, good at keeping your team alive, especially in PvE, but you're going to want to utilize this guy in PvP as well if you got your hands on him. So, Balar the Lost, another spirit nuker. Attack-based legendary. They just keep on bringing out spirit champs like crazy these days, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with it. We do need more spirit nukers for the force affinity, but I do think that we also need more force affinity for the magic nukers. So, Malignant Thorns. Attacks one enemy before attacking, places a shield buff on this champion for 2 turns. The value of the shield is proportional to this champion's attack. It only places it on himself, which I don't really like, but I guess it's better than nothing. Has a 50% chance of placing a poison sensitivity for 2 turns. And it books out to a 75% chance to place that poison sensitivity. Not bad. And then on the A2, Twister of Life. Attacks one enemy. 75% chance of placing a leech debuff on all enemies for 2 turns. Instantly activates all poison debuffs on all enemies. This does book down to a 1-turn cooldown, and it books out to a 100% chance to place the leech. So he's a poison exploder. It activates all poison debuffs. Okay, that means I would assume everything, including each debuff duration. So if there's 3 turns on the debuff for poison, I'm assuming it's just going to explode all 3 turns and not just 1 turn of the poisons. Kind of like Lanathril? No, Elenarl. So, attacks one enemy on the A3, a monstrous growth. Before attacking, places a 50% increase accuracy on all allies for 2 turns. This guy's got a lot of buffs and debuffs on his kit. He's going to be pretty insane for the Chimera. 75% chance of placing a decreased resistance debuff on all enemies for 2 turns. Books out to 100%. Wow. Places 3 5% poison debuffs on the initial target for 2 turns. If this attack is critical, places 3 5% poison debuffs for 2 turns on all enemies instead. Books down to a 3-turn. This guy's insane so far. This guy is insane. He's like a boosted Elenarl. Lost Chaos. Increase this champion's ignore defense effect by 1% for each poison debuff instantly activated by this champion and stacks up to 20%. Fills this champ's turn meter by 5% whenever a poison debuff is placed on an enemy. This guy's going to be ramping like crazy. Is he going to be a solo Dragonheart 10 champion? He might be a solo Dragonheart 10 potentially. Because he's going to hit really hard on the waves because of the ignore defense mechanic. That's good. Increase ally accuracy in all battles by 60. This is a good... both these champions are very strong. So not bad. On the next one here, let's see what we got going on. Event Dungeon. So this is going to start June 5th next week, which is going to be Thursday, I believe. Yes, it's going to be Thursday as of next week. Despite being a support champion in her base form, her abilities still scale off attack, so she's going to be a nuker. She's going to be very strong. Again, if you want to see the video, I posted about her already. I talked about her kit. Event Dungeon, additional information. Again, I talked about this. I talked about her kit already in a previous video. You guys know that it's always pinpoint gear featured in the Event Dungeons. But here we go. Okay, this is the good stuff. This is the good stuff here. Really good. Event Relics. Rares. So what do we have? Sinner's Cloak. The wearer receives 1% defense for each 15% HP missing. Stacks up to 75% missing HP. 1% for each 15% of HP missing. Oh, I see. So you can only get a stack up to 5% of defense. Not that strong. Not that strong. I think there's already another rare relic that does that, but it's up to 10% if I'm not mistaken, unless it's an epic relic. Leave your thoughts in the comments down below on that. Remind me of that. Tempest Morbidia. Decrease the steel turn meter effects are 15% less effective against the wearer. It's okay. It's okay. It's not bad. I wouldn't say it's horrible, but if you're against Armands, he's still going to wipe you. He's still going to destroy. And the steel is reduced by minus 3%, 3. But is it additive or multiplicative? I assume it's additive, but I don't know for sure. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, only up to 30%. I don't think it's strong enough. I don't think it's strong enough against Armands. So good luck. It's going to be good for early mid game. It's going to be good for PvE mainly. But for PvP, I don't know if I'd put it on any of my champions personally. There's no speed on it. I mean, it has attack. I guess if I need attack on one of my champs to try to boost their damage, maybe I'd put it on a NUKER. But most of the time against Armands, I'm putting my NUKERs in Stone Skin anyways. So, For epics, we've got wearer deals. Whoa! 96 accuracy. That's insane. Wearer deals 2% more damage per skill activated, stacks up to 10%, and receives 1% less damage per skill not activated, stacks up to 5%, by enemies under fear or true fear. This is insane. That's a crazy amount of accuracy. It's actually really strong on someone like Carnage. It's accuracy, crit damage, and attack because he scales higher damage on accuracy and on attack. So this could be really strong on Carnage. Grail of Agony. When enemies steal or decrease the wearer's turn meter, the wearer instead loses 2% max HP for every 1% of turn meter that would have been lost or stolen. Again, Armand steals 100% turn meter, 1% times 2% max HP, that's 200%. You're dead. You're literally dead. Can kill the wearer. That is so stupid. I don't get it. Why? Is it to try to eliminate him from taking another turn and that's it? Because he gets those extra turns. Because he's stealing the turn meter, then he gets a turn again. So it's basically trying to eliminate that stealing of the turn meter, but he's still going to get a turn because you're dead. Like, unless you get a good revive, I don't see how this is going to work. I don't see how this Grail of Agony is going to work. It's going to be in a very interesting comp where you have someone in like Stone Skin, super high res, where Armands can't sheep them and they're a reviver and they revive with an instant turn. I assume the only person that's good with this is like that new legendary from the Sacred Order, Artor, or whatever his name is. I forget what that dude's name is. It is, yeah, Artor. Iodex Artor. Does he do an instant turn? Revives an ally, 50% HP, 50% turn meter, places increased attack on the ally, then activates the revived ally's default skill, targeting the enemy with the lowest HP. So it won't even really work very well. I mean, it's not an instant turn. It just gives them turn meter. Yeah, I don't really see that working that well. I can't think of how I'd make that work. Event relics, legendary. Gilded Peon. Wearer receives 1% less damage for each turn of cooldown on all of their skills. So say you have like an Arbiter, and this would be great for Arbiter if you get this piece because it has 12 speed, and the damage reduction does stack up to level 6, which is not bad. So it stacks another 1.5% if you max that level out. So level 6 it's maxed already, which is not bad. This is decent. I like this one. So there's a lot of people that are doing cooldowns at this point. You've got Fabian, you got Crixia, you got Warlord, you got Yumeko, you've got other champs as well, like from Sacred Order, Alice. So if you have this is very strong against someone like Alice, someone like just damage dealers in general if you're getting your cooldowns reduced or increased. So not a bad one here. I actually like this one, especially because of the speed for your support champions. Then we've got, it also has resistance and HP. You always want resistance and HP too. Skull of Treason, 96 accuracy plus 6 speed, really strong as well. HP burn debuffs placed by the wearer. Deal 10% more damage to enemies with higher max HP. That's filthy. That's freaking filthy. You guys already know what you're placing this on. Who are you going to place the Skull of Treason on now? Mythical relics. Here we go. Covetous Passion. Damn. Attack almost 400. 21% crit damage and defense. So this is very strong. Wearer receives a 15% shatter buff for 2 turns at the start of a round. Has a 30% chance to place a 15% shatter buff on the wearer for 1 turn upon killing an enemy. Wow. I forget what shadow buff does. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Shatter buff increases a champion's ignored defense effects by 7.5% or 15%. That's very strong. That's very strong. So automatically the wearer gets a 15% ignored defense effect from this if they're a damage dealer for 2 turns at the start of a round. And whenever they kill someone, it has a 30% chance to place another shatter buff on them when they kill someone. That's crazy. Very, very strong. You're going to want this on your nukers for sure. And then we've got an effect chance of plus 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70% chance. So that's a 100% chance every time you kill an enemy if this is maxed, or level 6 actually. Wow. That's crazy. And then the Crown of Corruption, 40% crit damage, HP and defense. Wearer deals 5% more damage and receives 5% speed when above 50% HP. Below 50% HP, the wearer deals 25% less damage and loses 15% speed. Ugh, I don't know. 5% more damage and 5% speed when they're above 50% HP, but below 50% HP, the wearer deals 25% less damage and loses 15% speed. I think this is too much of an issue for you. Basically losing. You're losing too much stats. I don't really like this. You basically have to go first with this. Above 50% HP. If you have a go first team, great, but go second, you might have no HP, or you have to have stone skin to protect yourself with this specific mythical. Kind of weaker in my opinion, but I guess it's okay. Plus 5, 10, 20% damage and 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 speed. Yeah, I mean, it does add a good amount of speed and a good amount of damage, but I would just be too concerned about having less than 50% HP to want to utilize this on my damage dealers, unless I can guarantee that I'm going first. So next one here, last but not least actually, avatar frames and badges. 2 new avatar frames will be added to the game. So let me move myself out of the way here. Golden avatar frame to be placed as a reward for the coalition, and black avatar frame to be sent to players who collect 4 legendary themed champions by August 5th. Oh, okay, so you only get this one on the right. This one right below me. You can only get this one if you pull 4 of the legendary events, the themed champions. And then this one, the reward for the coalition event. Okay. This one, I think that most people are going to get this golden frame. And then players will have a chance to earn a new achievement badge. Okay, that's what this is. Okay, I was wondering what that was. If you manage to get all 5 themed champions, you'll receive a special in-game badge. The badge will be obtainable after the Chaos Awakes campaign is over. So that's mainly just for spenders, to be honest. Most people are not going to get that, especially if you're low spend or free to play, unless you're really, really lucky. So good luck if you're going for that one, but you're going to need to be a spender for that one more than likely. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below of all this new information that just came to the game. I'm super excited about all the new champions, and I can't wait to utilize some of the new champions, especially the ones that are coming out that are free. Like, I want to be able to utilize this champion right here, Lemonisa, the Goldwing. That's going to be fun. And I don't think they have any info on her yet, but I'll get that info out to you as soon as I can in a video soon. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.